There are plenty of videos of the Hosim 9125 on YouTube already, but just recently Hosim actually made a few changes to this truck. They added some features and made a few upgrades, and this is the newly upgraded version of the 9125. This is going to come with 6 oil-filled shocks, 2 LiPo batteries, and a balance charger, when the previous version of the 9125 just came with regular metal shocks that were not oil-filled, came with 1 LiPo battery and just a USB charger. So just get started with this side of the box. You can see this truck is 1/10 scale. It's got a 2.4 gigahertz radio system. It comes ready to run, so it's got the battery, radio, and everything. Then in the center here, they give you a good look at the truck itself, and they point out all the features that we'll get to later. The body's available in 2 different colors. Looks like we've got a blue version and then the red version, which should be inside this box. On this side of the box, looks like they give you a little breakdown of the controls on this radio. They claim that this truck reaches 46 kilometers per hour, which I think is around 30 miles per hour. This truck is waterproof. Then on this side of the box, they give you the dimensions. This is a 10th scale truck. The 9130 from Hosim is a 16th scale, so this should be quite a bit larger than what I had on the channel about a year ago. These little boxes talk about how this truck actually has dual brushed motors. They're kind of hidden inside. This vehicle is also equipped with a 60 amp electronic speed control. It comes with 2 7.4 volt 1600 milliamp LiPo batteries. It has 6 metal shocks, which are now supposedly oil filled, and then it has a high torque servo. Then last but not least, we have the underside of the box, which looks like it includes some instructions, and then down below we have all of the caution and warning labels. Let's get this thing ripped open so I can show you guys the truck itself. Okay, so in this box, it looks like we have the radio. Then there's also a bag in here that looks like it has the balance charger along with the second LiPo battery. I'm assuming the other one is actually sitting in the truck right now. And we also have a little bag of starter tools and some body clips and stuff, so we'll take a look at that. And finally, we have the instruction manual. Got this little Hosim card once again. Then on the inside, they kind of just have like a little quick start guide that'll walk you through the controls of the truck and how to take care of it. Here they got all the parts and the numbers. They have a nice exploded view. It's cool that they include the lines to see where all the screws go in and how all the parts line up. So this is the 2.4 gigahertz radio system that's included with the Hosim 9125. You can see on this transmitter you got the steering trim knob, got the steering rate, and then in between they have a little light that will indicate whether the radio's on or off. And it looks like down here we have a 2-position switch where you can reverse the steering, and then we also have a speed mode. So it's got a high speed mode, and then you can switch it down to low speeds, and then we just have the on and off button, which actually feels pretty nice. Most radios today take 4 AA batteries, but this will actually just take 3. The steering feels pretty good. Got a nice foam wheel to go with it. The radio definitely does feel pretty cheap, but honestly for the price of this truck that you're paying and considering the other RTR radios that you'll get with other vehicles on the market, even much higher end vehicles, this is, I think, an excellent radio. So in this little Ziploc bag, this is part of the LiPo balance charger on here. You can see whether or not it has power and whether or not it's charging. Looks like you can do lithium ion too. It's just a standard balance charger. It's got the little balance plug port underneath. If you're in the US, it doesn't look like you'll need an adapter or anything. It should just plug straight in, but this is the portion that will plug into just a regular wall outlet. And then bottom here, I assume will just go into the hole right there, and that is your full balance charging setup. And they have just a little starter tool. It's kind of like a cross wrench. It looks like it's for the wheel nut. We've got 4 spare body clips, which is awesome to see. Looks like we just have a little 2-position switch, just positive and negative wire. I'm actually not sure what this is for, but I'll have to do some research and see. And then lastly, they have the second LiPo battery. This is just a 2-cell 1600 milliamp. It looks like a 25C discharge. We have the balance plug right here. Then the main battery lead actually has a Dean's or an Ultra plug soldered on the end of it, which is pretty cool to see. So now it is time to move on to the truck. So already I noticed that these oil-filled shocks make a huge difference. Usually this truck, and I remember with the Hosim 9130, the thing would just bounce all around. The suspension was super responsive and very springy because it didn't have any shock oil to dampen it whatsoever. Here are the 4 other body clips that you get with the truck. There's 4 pre-installed on the vehicle, so you get 8 total. Here's the body, which definitely reminds me of the 9130 body. Continuing the scheme throughout the rest of the body. It's pretty thin Lexan, but honestly for the price price, I can't argue. Right when you get this thing out of the box, it has actually a protective coating over the body just to kind of keep it from getting scratched. Gonna get that peeled off so I don't forget it. I'm liking the look and feel of these tires. It kind of has like a modified chevron pattern going here. Then the tires are pre-glued onto these wheels. These are not beadlock wheels, even though they got that red ring going around here. That is just paint. So these wheels do have 12mm hexes. So the chassis looks pretty stealthy. To get the battery out, that is in this compartment right here. They've got two areas, just one on each side where you can pull it and pop it off. Here we have the second battery that comes with this truck. It's the exact same specs as the spare battery. It has the Deans. Then here you can see this is the male Deans that will plug into the ESC. The on and off switch is up top here. It's just a regular 2-position switch. This is the ESC and receiver. I think it's a 2-in-1 combo that has a little heat sink that's covered by a little plastic shroud here, but you can see the fins underneath. And something that you actually can't see, but that's hidden underneath and within this chassis is dual brushed motors. But it looks like they have quite a few vents hidden throughout the chassis that will keep the airflow going. I'm pretty impressed with the shock setup on this truck. 6 shocks. We've got 2 in the front and then 4 way back there in the rear. They are plastic bodied shocks, but they do have quite a few metal components on them. The cap on the top and bottom of the body of the shock, those are both metal, and it also looks like it has metal shock shafts too. And what's great is that these are oil filled shocks. As I look around this truck, I'm noticing some other metal components on it. It's got all metal drive shafts and then the drive cups on the inside, metal stub axles on the outside, along with the metal 12mm hexes. Looks like we have the upper and lower hinge pin braces here in the front. Those are metal. Then in the rear, it just looks like the lower one's metal. Front and rear skid plates are metal, so that should hold up very well. The A-arms and the steering links are both plastic. They're pretty thin A-arms, but from my experience with the 9130, although they're thin, they are quite durable, and I mean, they hold up just fine. The plastic's got some give to it. It's quite flexible. The front bumper has a ton of flex to it. Looks like there are 4 spots for some LED lights. Then there are 2 more spots for some taillights on the rear bumper here. The rear bumper, on the other hand, that does not have any flex. As far as the rest of the truck goes, I mean, we've got the plastic shock towers. We've got Phillips hardware all around. It has some adjustable body mounts up top. So for the price this truck's going for, on paper, this thing is looking like a solid vehicle. I hope you guys were able to enjoy this video and maybe even learn something. Once again, thanks to Hosim for sending this out, and I will see you guys in the next video.